Hi guys, morning guys. How are you all going? I've got this computer set up right. I think it's okay. Could be a bit lower down, can I? Let's just raise it up slightly. That's a bit better. Who we got, man? Who we got? Let's have a look. Philomena, Teresa, Elaine. Yeah, Elaine. It was a hot topic. So this is part 2. The time is 9:22 a.m. and if you're not from the UK, guys, the weather is absolutely chucking it down in the UK. I'm near Bristol, southwest UK. I'm in a holiday seaside town called Weston-super-Mare. Weston-super-Mare. And my name's Louis. I'm 57. And I've been a lifelong Elvis fan for over 50 years. Over 50 years. Let's type in the name of my town, shall we? Let's see if something comes up. Let's put something. Now, I was born and bred in Weston-super-Mare. Let's see if I can show you a little very short clip of my hometown. Now, somehow we've evolved into a Defending Elvis Presley YouTube channel, haven't we? And which is, I feel very lucky. Yeah, very lucky. Was unexpected, guys. So let's just see if I can get anything come up. Oh, the internet's not great. So, but we've been having a bit of fun lately. We did movie clips the other day. We did a load of live music as well the other day. So we've just been messing around, haven't we? We've just really getting serious, not serious, serious, not serious. All right. So Elaine says it's sunny and hot in Manchester today. My God, that's crazy. I'll tell you what, the skies are black and it is non-stop rain and it's even a bit cold. Yeah, I think you northerners have stole the good weather. Let's have a look. So we've got Vibet. It's a beautiful day in Sweden, sunny and warm. Ah, lovely. Lovely. And my sister, Dora, her name's Dora, has got a girlfriend that lives in Sweden and she visits. She comes and stays with him. Her son is called Joe and she stays with him every month. So let's have a look. So Jean, hi Jean. In Chicago, it is 92 degrees. Come to Sweden. Now this topic, I was going to show you a clip of my hometown, but the internet's not being very good, so I won't do that. But I did want to play one song. One song. Just one. You know it's going to get copyrighted, but it's just, I don't know why I've been singing it all morning. So I'm gonna just to sort of cheer us up a bit, and then we're going to talk about the meditation garden. We're going to talk about your views on whether or not you think it's right that Priscilla gets buried at Graceland. We're going to try and see both sides of the point of view. We're also going to read off the comments on the YouTube video I did last night, which has already had 500 views through the night. That's a lot. 500 views for an hour and a half long video. It's pretty good. A lot of comments. So we're going to go through those comments. I also want to play Amy's comment. I think there was Natalie's comment. I'm not sure if Natalie's on. I want to sort of really thrash it out this morning. I've got a bit of time. Kids are at school. The wife's upstairs. That's Rio behind me. Rio, my 16-year-old son, he's got a day off college. Is it college or university? College. He's doing a business study. He's doing business studies degree.
Yeah.
Doing a business study degree. But this song just keeps going round and round in my head. So I'm going to play it, guys. While I play it, I'm going to heat up my coffee. Let's have a look. See if I can see one with a bit of a video. I don't think there is one. No. Come on then, guys. Let's see if we get. There's our little wake me up this morning song. All right, you drive past Weston on the way to Cornwall. Weston is lovely. I was born in Weston-super-Mare, and we always shine when it's sunny. But in the winter, not so great. Not so great. So I'm gonna. First of all, did many of you watch last night's live stream? I actually didn't plan to do a live stream on Priscilla Presley being buried at Graceland and your wishes, because I think part of the point of that live stream we did last night was to get your wishes, you, Team Elvis, you, the Elvis fans, how you feel about it. Yeah. I've told you how I feel, and we're going to go through that in a second. I don't think it's straightforward. Because you can't ignore the fact that Lisa Marie and Benjamin are buried there. This is my dilemma. This is my dilemma. I already said to you last night, I do like to base this channel now. I sort of listened to Joel Weishanker say it in his speech. And I've heard other people say it. What would Elvis want? What would Elvis want? And now that has turned into what would Lisa Marie want? What would Elvis and Lisa Marie want? So this now guides me. I feel very fortunate that we've created a platform here, myself and Team Elvis, on our very special channel. I think our channel is special. I really do. We're not the biggest channel. We don't have the most subscribers and the most views. But there is something very heartfelt about defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. I do think we've hit a nerve together. Because I don't think my channel would be the same if it didn't have Team Elvis. I think me with Team Elvis has created this movement that is special. I keep saying the word special, but I really believe that. So we go back to what would Elvis want? What would Lisa Marie want? And I know your answer. I asked you this question last night. And so hi Helen, hi Colleen, hi Vibex, hi Teresa, and Sue. You know, and I'll quickly ask you now. You were on last night. Would Elvis and Lisa Marie want Priscilla buried at the meditation garden? Bearing in mind, Elvis knows that Lisa Marie's buried there, Benjamin's buried there. Please let me know. Let me know now. And we'll start going through the comments. We'll discuss it in deeper detail. So Vibex, absolutely not. I've been reading your comments on the YouTube video we did last night as well. Helen, Vibex, Lorna, Sue, let's have a look. So Teresa, Elvis would not want her to be buried. No way in hell. Now, I'll be honest with you. I personally think, this is what I think. I've had time to sleep on it. Elvis would have a dilemma. Now, remember, Elvis is a very kind man, a very decent man. He lives by the Bible, yeah? We know he's a Christian. He took his religious beliefs seriously, like he lived by them. Even through his wild times, deep down, he always had the, how can I say it, the moral compass of a Christian man that was brought up in Mississippi, Tupelo. in that kind, loving, generous, caring, understanding way. I would say that is the core of Elvis. Yeah. I think Elvis would have a dilemma. I think Elvis would be like, you know, Lisa Marie is buried in the meditation garden. I personally think Elvis would be pleased that he was buried in the meditation garden. Obviously, from the information I've been looking up, and I think Elaine, you can comment on this. Yeah. Elvis didn't know that the meditation garden would be a burial ground. He never thought that. It was, to me, the meditation garden was obviously about his, when he became a spiritual person. Yeah. And he got into meditation. We know about, I forget, what's her name called? Is it Dalai Mata? Someone will put me right what she's called. The meditation garden became an area for fun where people would congregate. There's no way Elvis ever thought that would ever be a funeral, a graveside. So now the religious Elvis would be very forgiving. He would want to forgive. I think forgiveness is the core of Christianity. I really believe that. I'm a Christian. I've had some ups and downs in my life. Some quite bad downs, okay? And I used to be a little bit angry, a little bit bitter towards people that had wronged me in the past. You know, ex-girlfriends, ex-employees. Luckily, I've never fallen out of family. I've always been okay with family. And I tell you now, I reached a point in my life, and I think it was in my 40s, I'm 57 now, where I made a decision that I was going to forgive everyone. The reason I'm saying this is because I want to relate it to Elvis. I want to relate it to Priscilla. I want to relate it to all the wrongdoing that Priscilla has done. I want to relate it to the burial of Priscilla at Graceland. Now, I chose this. I can't remember how. I think I was about 46. Right? And I drew a line in the sand, and I remember being quite tearful and talking to my wife. And I said to my wife, Aurora, I'm going to forgive everyone. I'm going to forgive all the wrongdoing that has happened in my life. I was in tears. I was going through a spiritual phase as well, just like Elvis did. And some quite nasty things had happened to me in my life. And I forgave everyone. Overnight, boom, forgave everyone. Any bad thing that had ever happened to me, no matter whose fault it was, I said, I forgive you. This happened in my life. Now, that doesn't mean I became their friends or that I reconnected the friendships. It wasn't that. It was just in my mind, in my heart, I'd let them go. The ties that were tied to me to do with my anger and my very passionate, strong feelings against these people, I let them go. And the reins just released. Whoosh. And I felt a weight lifted. It was the best decision I've ever made in my life, except for getting married to my wife. Forgiving all these people freed me, gave me my life back, gave me my happiness back. I think was good for my health and changed my life, really, changed the path of my life. So let's bear this in mind, guys, when we're talking about what we're about to talk about in a second. I'm not rushing into the subject. I want to read some of your comments, and then we're going to start talking about the subject. Right. Anyway, so I hope you understand where I'm coming from, guys. I'm not going to do this live stream based on hate and anger. I'm going to do this live stream based on understanding. and forgiveness. Yeah? So, Rebecca, why when Lisa was alive, Priscilla said she didn't want to be buried there? Now she changes her mind even in the court and so specific nearest to Elvis without moving any graves. And this is being said again and again to me. Hi, Rebecca. Elaine, in that video I sent Louis, I'm sure it mentioned that the mausoleum was only ever temporary, so who knows what was already in place. I always think the kidnap thing was just coincidental. Yeah, and I've watched all about the kidnapping stuff. I know about this. So I think, there was always a fear with Elvis's grave that it was going to get robbed, wasn't there? It was always massive. It was always a big thing. It's like 24-hour guards. And I've watched a brilliant interview that I think Elaine might have sent me that talks to, what's his name again? What's his name? Which I can't remember his name. He, in detail, goes about the casket and how it was sealed, and all the behind-the-scenes stuff that went on to keep Elvis's body safe. And it's actually very interesting. Very interesting. Right. Forgiveness. Right. Let's have a look. Hi, Patricia. Pat. Forgiveness is definitely the way to go, but it doesn't mean you have to let those people back into your life. I agree. Colleen, that is exactly right. That's exactly what I did. I forgave everyone. I got rid of my anger. Doesn't matter how serious it was. But no, I didn't let them back in my life. Of course not. But instead of hating on them and ignoring them, I became civil. Civil. Yeah? Polite. It worked for me, guys. I highly recommend it. And obviously, we know it's a massive thing in the Bible. Right, let's have a look. Let's just try and read some of your comments. Gene, that's right. He didn't say. I really don't think he would have her at the Gracelands. Yeah, and we're going to start talking about this now, guys. I'm sort of keeping you hanging. Let's have a look. Have I missed some comments? Right, so we've got Elaine. Helen, on behalf of the Rising Sun and the others, they do not want her buried near them. Right, let's keep going. So, I'm getting the gist of, it's obvious Elaine doesn't want Priscilla buried at the meditation garden at Graceland. Am I correct, Elaine? Let's have a look. Vibex, forgiveness is definitely the key to success and moving on, but we don't have to stay around with these people. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. After all, there are a lot of toxic people in the world and we need to keep distance. Yes, 100%. Oh, yeah. When I forgave these people, I still kept my distance. 100%. Now, let's see it from the Elvis Presley's point of view. To carry around hate and anger is poison to yourself, and the people that hurt you are walking around without care in the world. They are. But if you still hate on them, if you've still got that, if they still have that effect on you, they have power. They have power. And by forgiving the people that were cruel to you, bad to you, poisoned you, call it what you want, you take away their power. You take away their power. This is what I thought. That was from Cody. She's done so much damage to Elvis's reputation, not the fact that she said that she was never wanted to be buried there. Patricia, she has. Trust me, I'm not doing this video as a Priscilla fan. Yeah, I'm trying to see things from the point of view of Elvis and Lisa Marie. Now we're going to start talking about Lisa Marie in a second as well. Now, Elaine, Sam Thompson and Dick Grob. Oh yeah, yes, it was the Dick Grob interview that I'm talking about, which is really interesting, guys. Really interesting. One of the best interviews I've listened to. That was, I think Elaine sent it me. And I tell you what, it was excellent. It really went into detail. The day Elvis died, and then all the very, 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 how can I say it? Almost like you were there kind of detail, and the arrangements with Elvis's body and the casket, etc. It's a real inside look at what went on, and it's about 46 minutes long. But I tell you what, it was excellent. It's one of the best things I've watched. So I thank Elaine for that. So Sam Thompson and Dick Grobb and Vernon organised the moving of the graves. The night they also had problems with the cemetery security, and it was not good enough, and they were very difficult to deal with. Yeah, and I remember Dick Grobb said that the people that were running, what do you call it? The people that were doing the arrangements behind the scenes that Dick Grobb was dealing with to try and make sure everything was okay, ready for the burial, were very difficult. That's what Dick said. If you hate on the power, that is correct. Yeah, thanks, Rebecca. Elvis and Lisa would not want her buried there, according to Joel. Now, when you say Joel, you mean Joel Weishanker. Is that who you're talking about, Pat? Because well, Joel never knew Elvis. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. I know he was very close to Lisa. Let's have a look. Colin, I really struggle to forgive people that have been nasty to me. Yeah, Lorna, it's tough. It's hard to forgive. It's hard. It took me years and years, over 10 years, to be ready to forgive. But in the end, I felt that the bitterness was causing me harm, bad for my health. Yeah? So it was the best thing I ever did. Now, it doesn't mean that I liked these people. It just means I let it go. I let it go and moved on. I took away their power. So Sam and Dick have both talked about the operation and both recollections matched as to exactly what happened on that. Yeah, it's brilliant. Loved it. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's the best thing for you. You release the hold they have on you. That's it, Colleen. That's it. That's everything. And I recommend that to all of you guys, especially now we're older. Many of you in 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you have to let it go, guys. No matter how horrible it was, let it go. Move on. Forgive and move on. That doesn't mean you have to be friends with them. It doesn't mean they have to be back in your life. You just release them. Release them. Take away their power. Lisa was talking to Joel about her buried there. I found that if you forgive, you can get the nasty stuff out of your life. Yeah. Thanks for the Colleen. Thank you. So, Colleen, you completely understand what I'm saying. Now, later on, Dick Grobb became a dick, as he said, unkind, untrue things about Ginger. I haven't seen that. I'd like to. I'm going to look that up. Rosemary, hi. Well, I can't stay on today, but just to say there's such a thing as asking for forgiveness. Yes. And also there's a lot of emotion. Not just Elvis sang The Devil in Disguise in 68. But thank you, Rosemary. And my last thing I want to say about my experience, no, not the last thing. I was very lucky. I was crazy about Elvis, even as a little boy. And there was this old man who used to park his caravan. I don't know, is a caravan the right word? In America, I know a lot of you are in America, Australia, all around the world. And this old man, he was in his 80s. And he would park his caravan on the beach. Now, I lived across the road from the beach. Yeah? And the reason I keep bringing up Christianity and religion is because I'm going to relate it back to Elvis and Lisa Marie. Now, this old man, I was a twin. Now, we lived across the road from the beach. So me and my little twin brother, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, we were allowed to cross over the road and go to the beach and play. Now, this old man had a religious caravan, a small box caravan. I think, do you call it an RV? I'm not sure what you guys call it. And this man, the whole caravan was full of books, of badges, some children items, religious children items that he would hand out to the children. And he would sit us all down outside on the sand, and he would recite prayers to us. He would sing hymns to us. This man was very old, late 80s. Now, I didn't know this, but that man had spent his whole life on a crusade to spread the word of Christianity around the world. He actually was quite famous. I didn't know this at the time. So one day, me and my twin brother you could imagine us on the beach, buckets and spades, sat on the beach. We'd always go to this old man with his caravan because he would give us things. He would give us badges, book binders, and he would just give us pamphlets and leaflets talking about Christianity. So we would go and visit this man only in the summer when it was a hot sunny day. And one day he said to me and my brother, my twin brother, this is in the 70s, okay? Come into my caravan. Yeah. So we both went and sat in the caravan with this old man, and we called him Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill was the name we called him. And he had a funny smell about him, a certain type of perfume, a rosary type smell. And we sat there all on these red velvet cushions. We were like, oh, he's going to give us a toy. He's going to give us something nice. Or maybe he'll give us another badge. Yeah. So we sat down all patiently, and he said to me, do you want a Bible? I'm going to give you guys a Bible. So he gave us this little miniature red Bible. I remember thick, small, only small. And he handed us a Bible in. And then he said to me, I'm going to invite Jesus into your heart. We're like, huh? How are you going to invite Jesus into our heart? How? So he read a prayer to us, yeah? And, we felt a bit awkward, yeah? We're in this small little caravan. This man's given us a Bible each, and we're sat there. We're doing as we're told because we're like 5 years old. And he says, I'm going to invite Jesus into your heart. So I'm like, me and my twin brother are like, how do you invite Jesus into your heart? And he said, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to put the Holy Spirit in your heart. Now, we're 4 or 5 years old. Yeah. So what he sits there and he puts his hands on both our foreheads. Don't forget, we're tiny little twins. Yeah. He puts his hands, one hand here, one hand here. You imagine he sat, we're in front of him, and he puts his hand on both our foreheads, and he says the Lord's Prayer. He says the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven. And I felt something. This is a true story, guys. Me and my brother, we both felt this. It felt like a warm blanket was being wrapped around us. And he invited Jesus, his Spirit, the Holy Spirit, into our heart when we were 4 or 5 years old. And I'll never forget that man, Uncle Bill. And the point is this. I feel that beautiful act that this man did for us and invited Jesus into our heart, me and my twin brother, guided me through my whole life. Now, we had ups and downs in our life. We had many ups and downs. I really feel that very old man changed my life. I didn't know it. And I always felt that him inviting Jesus into my heart and my twin brother's heart guided us for the rest of our life, and was the reason we had such a successful life, because we did go on to have a very successful life when we got into our 20s. And when things would go wrong, I always felt that Jesus being in my heart put me on the right road. And the reason I talk about this, guys, is because I feel that way about Elvis Presley. I feel that Elvis had Jesus in his heart. And it happened when he was a very small child, very small, 1, 2, 3, 4 years old. And this is why Elvis, no matter how much his life twisted and changed, in the end, he always tried to do the right thing. He tried to do the right thing. Maybe this is why Elvis married Priscilla. Because people say he was under pressure from Vernon, under pressure from Priscilla's parents, from Colonel Tom Parker. There's many reasons why people think Elvis eventually married Priscilla, because I don't actually think Elvis wanted to get married. That's my opinion. So my point is, guys, when we talk about the meditation garden, we have to bear this in mind. Elvis had the Lord Jesus in his heart. I know some of you may not be religious, some of you may not be Christian, but Elvis was. Elvis's favorite book was the Bible. We know that. He also was very spiritual. But I have to bring this into play when we're going to discuss the meditation garden and what Elvis would have wanted with Priscilla, with Lisa Marie, with Benjamin, what Elvis would have wanted. I have to include that Elvis had Jesus in his heart. Elvis believed in forgiveness. So when we talk about Priscilla Presley being buried at the meditation garden, and then we say, what would have Elvis wanted? Because I slept on this last night. It kept me awake a bit because it was going round and round in my head. And all the things I know about Elvis, all the things I've learned about Elvis, the one thing I've learned, that Elvis was a kind man. A kind man. Now, would Elvis have not wanted Priscilla to be buried next to her daughter, her grandson? Now, that is a big question. Now, I completely understand that we as fans who are very defensive on behalf of Elvis, we are very protective of Elvis. We're very upset with the wrongdoing that Priscilla did to Elvis, some of the Memphis Mafia. We're defensive, aren't we? We're angry, we're bitter, we're annoyed. Yeah? We want to retaliate. We want to jump up and be there for Elvis. We want to have Elvis's back. But we also have to understand, in my opinion, just as a fan at home in my kitchen, that Elvis was a forgiving man. Would he have wanted us to stop Priscilla from being buried next to her daughter? Now, Amy said something on the messaging the other day. Last night, sorry. Amy Collett. We love Amy. And she makes it clear. I'm going to say, I'll play the message to you now. Let's have a look, see if I can find it. Amy makes it very clear. She understands why a mother would want to be buried next to her daughter and grandchild. Now, of course, you guys are going to jump in and say, well, she's got her own family. She can be buried with Navarone and Marco Garibaldi. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. Yeah, but let me just see if I can find Amy's comment. But why can't she be buried next to her daughter and her grandson? Why not? Why not? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not saying to you that I think Priscilla should be buried in the meditation garden. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it is not straightforward, because when we ask what would have Elvis wanted, I actually think the answer isn't the answer that you guys all want, because Elvis was so kind, so good. I found a brilliant video showing all the good things that Elvis did in his life to help people, not just with charity, just helping random strangers. And the Elvis that spent his whole life helping people wouldn't have been angry, wouldn't have been bitter. He would have been forgiving. Now, let me just show you. Let me see if I can find it. I'll play this, then we're going to read your comments. So I put it on. Now let's see if I can find it before I. Let's just see it. Right now, can we listen to this? This is Elvis, right, talking about Priscilla. I think it's only a minute or something. Listen.
I want to make one thing clear. Let me make something clear. I've been singing that song for a long. Just a minute here. I've been singing that song for a long time, and a lot of people kind of got it associated with me because they think it's a personal name. It is not. It's a beautiful song written by Marty Robbins, and I heard Frankie Lane do it. I think it was, and I just love the song, and it has nothing to do with me personally. My ex-wife Priscilla, she's right here. Honey, stand up. Come out, Johnny. Come out. Come on out. Turn around and let them see you. Let them see you. Well, she's a beautiful chick. I'll tell you for sure. Well, I know that when I pick someone, you know, damn. Now, show my little daughter, Lisa. She's 6 years old. Look at her jump up. Put your dress down, Lisa. You pull your dress down where you jump up like that again, young lady. And then at the same booth is my girlfriend, Sheila. Stand up, Sheila. Turn around, completely around. Sheila, straight up. Hold the ring up. Hold the ring up. The ring, your right hand. Look at that son of a bitch. Now, the thing I'm trying to get across is we're the very best of friends, and we always have been. Our divorce came about not because of another man or another woman, but because of the circumstances involving my career. I was traveling too much. I was gone too much. And it was just an agreement that I didn't think it was fair to her because I was gone so much and everything. So I, therefore, as decently as you can do that type of thing, we just made an agreement to her to always be friends and be close and care because we have a daughter to raise. And for her to have whatever she wanted as a settlement. After the settlement, it came out at about $2 million. You know. Well, after that, I got her a mink coat. I know it. I'm talking about the mink coat. You hang loose over there. The XK Jag after the settlement, just gave it to her. She got me. Listen to this tonight. A $42,000 white Rolls Royce. It's the type of relationship that we have, you know, and it's not a bad setup, is it, fellas? You know, I mean, I got part of it back anyway, did I? I wasn't hurting too bad, but I mean, I did get part of it back. You know, she bought the car just out of a gesture of love, and she likes the studs that I have. It's not a car, just studs.
So, I mean, obviously that was obviously said before the second divorce settlement, guys. Now, remember, the second divorce settlement was cruel. Yeah, cruel. I have very, very passionate views about the second divorce settlement. I've said it to you again and again and again. The what Priscilla demanded from Elvis on the second divorce settlement that she should not have ever had, I think was part of the reason he died. I honestly believe that, in my opinion. So I'm very upset about the second divorce settlement. But at this point, when when he was talking to the audience, that says it all about Elvis. Forgiving. 6-year-old daughter. So Lisa Marie was 6. That gives you a timeline. That would have been what? Actually, it might say on here. Would that have been around 73? Do you think that was 73? Let's have a look. No, I don't think. I don't think it says. I don't think it says a year. I'm guessing 72, 3, probably 3. I would say. Right. I'm just gonna get the doorbell and then I'll come back. come back. We'll start reading your comments. Okay, we're back. We're back. Right, I'm going to read what I'm going to do. I'm going to read your comments, and then we're going to go through that video and get your comments of last night's video. So let's get back. Let's go back a little bit. So I'm up, so I haven't missed any. Okay, right. Billy and Joe have already said on the YouTube channel that Elvis would not want her to be buried there, and we have to remember on the 29th of April that she put a lien on his home when he was sick. Okay, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Elaine. That's from Elaine. I love Billy. Yeah, I think he's great. I feel sorry for Billy, but I don't 100% agree with everything Billy says. I don't. There's some things I do, some things I don't. And then, guys, the lien, I have done so many videos on the lien that was put on Gracelands that was horribly done by Priscilla. The deed of trust was created to allow this lien. The whole point of the lien was that Priscilla was demanding a massive amount of money. She wanted a percentage of Elvis's royalties. She wanted a monthly spousal payments and other things. Elvis couldn't afford it. So in the end, the attorneys, the lawyers come up with this idea to create this deed of trust, which then would allow Elvis to pay off Priscilla in installments over a certain amount of years, because Elvis just didn't have the money. I'm not going to say it any other way. She nearly drove him to bankruptcy. She did. She nearly took Graceland's off him. I'm angry that happened. I hate that happened. Yeah. I think it's one of the cruelest things that Priscilla ever did. One of the cruelest things. And it all was still going on in 1977 when Elvis was really sick, when they had just released the Memphis Mafia book. It was all still going on. I think it did play a part in his death. I agree. That whole point that Elaine has just said. But I won't ignore Elvis's religious beliefs. I won't ignore the fact that he was such a kind man, such a forgiving man. Now us here, like Elaine, it's very clear that you don't want Priscilla to be buried at Graceland, and many of you feel that way. Yeah, I would say the majority of Elvis fans don't want Priscilla buried there. When I go through these comments, I'm guessing there's going to be many of you saying there's no way she should be buried there. Yeah, quite angry comments, quite bitter comments. Yeah, and I understand why, because we're very unhappy with how Priscilla has treated Elvis. Very unhappy. And we're very unhappy how Priscilla has treated Lisa Marie Presley. Yeah, we feel that she's not grieving properly for her daughter that she didn't lose that long ago. We don't like the fact that she's running around the world making money. Yeah. At her age, we all feel that she should be retired with her grandchildren. She shouldn't care about constantly trying to find different ways to make money. We all feel that way. We all feel that. We also feel that she has wronged Elvis so much that she doesn't deserve to be buried at the Meditation Garden. We also feel that Elvis wouldn't want her buried in the Meditation Garden because of all the wrong that she did. Yeah? Because of how badly she treated Lisa Marie. Because let's face it, her relationship with Lisa Marie was very on and off. Very on and off. I'll show you plenty of videos that show Priscilla getting on very well with Lisa Marie. Plenty. There's plenty of interviews. They went through good phases, but then they went through phases where they couldn't, couldn't even talk to each other. Yeah, We know that they had quite a few feuds. When the Barry Siegel stuff happened, they didn't speak for years, as far from the information we're told. Yeah, but we're talking about Elvis Presley here, guys. This is Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley is a one of a kind. Yeah, he was unusually kind. He was deeply religious, deeply forgiving. Yeah, Elvis struggled with the Bible and the things that went on in his life, including the different girlfriends he'd had, the problems he'd had with the Memphis Mafia. Now, we've listened to the phone call between Red West and Elvis. And Elvis, even in that phone call, you can tell he's not angry. He's not bitter. He keeps it friendly and even offers, at the end of the phone call, even offers his help. Yeah? So we're not talking about an average person, guys. And I personally think, and I'm not speaking on behalf of me, I personally think that Elvis Presley, this beautiful, good-hearted, kind man, would have forgiven Priscilla. I really believe that. And you're not going to like me saying that. But I base this on thousands of hours of looking up Elvis and understanding that deep down he had a heart of gold. He had a heart of gold. And he forgave everyone. Is there anyone that Elvis did not forgive? Now, I do have a dilemma. I've slept on this through the night. And you cannot take away the fact that Lisa Marie is buried there, that Benjamin is buried there. Now, I do take on board fully that you guys are saying that she has demanded to be buried next to Elvis. Now, if that's true, so I don't know if that is true. If that is true, then of course that's wrong. I repeat, her being buried next to Elvis doesn't sit right with me because she was not his ex-wife. I mean, she was not his widow, sorry. The way she treated Elvis was disgusting. But should she be allowed to be buried next to her daughter and her grandson? Come on, guys. It's her daughter and her grandson. So not next to Elvis. Definitely not. This is my view. She should not be buried next to Elvis. 100% no. Elvis wouldn't want her next to him. But with the daughter and the grandson, come on, guys. It's blood. It's her daughter. It's her grandson. That's going to annoy a lot of you. When I woke up this morning, that's what I thought. Now, do I think Priscilla being buried at Graceland is going to be good for business? Probably not. Do I think if Priscilla is buried at the meditation garden, it's going to upset a lot of people? Yeah. It's going to upset loads of people. It's going to infuriate people. You're going to get a massive backlash if Priscilla gets buried in the meditation garden. But what would Elvis do? What would Elvis do? This is how I started off this live stream, guys. What would Elvis do? And the Elvis that we've all come to know. None of you are going to like this. You can unsubscribe and unmember. But Elvis, I'm speaking on my views on how Elvis would be towards Priscilla. I think he would have forgiven her. Seriously. Forgive them. They know not what they do. Yeah? This woman, Priscilla Presley, made a lot of mistakes. Serious mistakes. Very unfaithful. In a cruel way. The way that she treated him financially was disgusting. The way that she put Lisa Marie Presley into Scientology was disgusting. The way that she squandered Lisa Marie's fortune that she was to inherit was disgusting. The fact that Elvis Presley Enterprises was sold off, I hate that. Yeah, even now, Priscilla is making many mistakes over and over again with the lawsuits, especially the one with Riley Keough, trying to go against her daughter's wishes, Lisa Marie, after she'd passed. Priscilla trying to be joint trustee, which is just ridiculous. But also, demanding money from Riley Keough, £400,000 legal fees, £1 million up front, a yearly salary for being an advisor to GRACELAND. These things infuriate the fans. They do. Priscilla is still making mistakes over and over again. And the most recent stuff with Bridget Cruz, the lawsuits there, the elder abuse lawsuit. Ultimately, it's all about, it's about auctioning off items, really, that she shouldn't be auctioning off. So we fans are upset about that. You know, that fight with Bridget Cruz and Priscilla is going to go on and on for a while. So I still say, guys, no matter what we think, no matter what our personal feelings are, the Elvis that I've grown to love and admire would have forgiven her. He would have forgiven her. And he would have let her be buried next to her daughter, next to her grandson. I really believe that. Now, he wouldn't want her buried next to him. Definite. That's just my view, guys. I'm going to carry on reading your comments. And I can only be honest with you. I can only be honest and tell you my mind. And remember, I am no Priscilla fan. No Priscilla. I'm very upset with Priscilla. Right. Right. So, Elaine, as you get older, you forgive more easily as it's for your peace, not theirs. Yes, I agree with that. Right. Helen and Jean, she was so cruel to him and was sick and struggling with his addictions. It's truly shocking. Elaine, I agree. I agree. I'm not going to defend Priscilla. Elvis's words, forgive Priscilla, but not buried his... No, yeah, but Jean, shall I tell you why no? Because Lisa Marie is there. Benjamin is there. They are her daughter and grandkids. Now, not next to Elvis. I agree with that. So Jean believes in forgiveness. Right. So Patricia, when will it stop? Is Priscilla going to have her son buried there as well, as it's supposed to be only 6 plots? No, he wouldn't. If he knew what Lisa had to endure after the passing. Patricia, I agree. I agree. It's not straightforward. It's very complicated. It's very complicated. Now, obviously, many of us are upset with Navarone, but I still see Navarone as a damaged child that became an adult. The damage was done to him in his childhood, maybe by Priscilla. Who knows? Maybe by Scientology. Who knows? That guy is a damaged person that needs help. That's how I see Navarone. I'm disgusted by the things Navarone says. Disgusted by the things he says. But he is a damaged young man. Right, so Colleen. Elvis would have given her for sure. But after everything she did to his daughter is a different story. I can forgive for myself, but hurt my son. And that's totally different story. Now, Colleen, I've watched not hundreds, dozens and dozens of interviews with Priscilla and Lisa Marie together. I'm telling you now, they had many good years as well. I want to be honest. They had many good years and bad years. And come on, a mother and daughter relationship, and Lisa Marie was a rebellious child, would have been very difficult for Priscilla. Now, I'm disgusted that she got put in Scientology. It's horrific. When I think about the fact that Lisa Marie was put into Scientology, in my mind, so that it freed up Priscilla so she could go off and live her life and pursue her career and make more money. And just, it was very selfish, extremely selfish. But they were on and off. They were on and off. And yes, of course, they had years where they didn't speak, but they also had years when they do speak. You look at the Oprah Winfrey interview with Priscilla and Lisa Marie. I tell you now, they get on very, very well. So it isn't straightforward. Rita, I'm pleased that Jesus told you, but I'm in the time of the Lord's judgment. Karma is my law. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. I can't agree with that. Sorry, I can't agree with that. I will never accept eye for an eye because that's cruel. Come on. It's too intense. It's too bitter. It's too angry. I understand karma, where if you do something bad will come back to you. I get that. Eye for an eye. Nah. Sorry, no. I don't think it was meant. Hello? I don't think it was meant in the way that you say it, Rita. She never said that she wants to be buried next to Elvis. Yeah, and this is Gene. I want evidence of that. I want evidence that Priscilla had specifically said, I want to be buried next to Elvis. I'd want to see evidence of that. Okay. Right, Helen. Yes, Louis, but Priscilla's request is not to be buried near Lisa Marie and Ben. Priscilla wants to be buried as close to Elvis as possible. It's all about Priscilla's legacy. I understand that, but I'd want proof. I want proof because I haven't seen any actual proof that Priscilla said that. Yeah, so if any of you have got it, please send it me. My belief is she is buried there and the fans, some of the magic of Graceland will be gone. Sue, I think you're right. I agree with that. Right, Scientology, right, Elaine, Scientology cremate their dead, usually something to do with passing over quicker, so an would fit at the space at the bottom of the 4 graves. Oh, okay, an urn, right, got it. Okay, now is Priscilla still Scientology? I don't know. Some people say she is, some people say she isn't. This is how it is for me. The king of rock and roll died single. So, Rebecca, you making that very clear? He died single. Now, I still say this. You cannot ignore the fact that Lisa Marie and Benjamin are buried there. You can't undo that. This is what makes it all complicated. This is why it's so difficult for us. Now, if Lisa Marie was not buried there and Benjamin was not buried there, I'd be saying to you, no way should Priscilla be buried at the meditation garden because she was horrible to Elvis. Priscilla was horrible to Elvis. Yeah, I completely accept that. No, she shouldn't be anywhere near him. She was not his widow. She went on and had many other boyfriends, long-term partners, even the child with Navarro. She was with Marco Garibaldi for 22 years. Elvis is not the love of her life. Every time she says Elvis is the love of my life, I burst out laughing because it's so untrue. She doesn't deserve to be buried next to Elvis at all. She shouldn't be. But Lisa Marie is there. Benjamin are there. Lisa Marie is her daughter. Benjamin is her grandson. It's a tough one, guys. It's a tough one. You can't change that. Even Amy Collett, you know, the researcher that we've come to love and admire, and her research means everything to us, and her involvement with our channel, defending Elvis Presley, means everything. Even she understands that a mother will want to be buried with her daughter and her grandson. So I have to be fair. I have to be fair. I also have to take into account what Elvis would have been like. And I know that Elvis would have been forgiving. I just know it. I know his heart, in my opinion. Let's have a look. Elvis tried to make it as friendly, as stress-free as possible, but that was before she hurt his daughter over and over. She, you know, come on. When you, right, listen, Coley, when you say hurt his daughter over and over, you mean Scientology? You mean all the financial things? Yeah, like obviously with the money stuff that went on to do with Elvis Presley Enterprises, the fact that Priscilla was very selfish, put her career first, put her boyfriends first. You know, we've got situations with Michael Edwards where there's a possibility that Michael Edwards crossed the lines and was, how can I say it? I'm trying to say what happened, what she said, because I've seen it in an interview. She talks about him in an interview. I wonder if I put it on my phone, where she basically says that Michael Edwards went too far. Let's have a look. Here we go. Right, listen to this, guys.
That Armani is a date that she hates, and he wrote this book about her, about Lisa Marie. Oh, yeah. Saying that, you know, when Lisa Marie was first developing, he started to have some feelings for her.
Oh, no.
And she said that he came into her room at times and was inappropriate. I don't know what that means.
Yikes.
I can't believe you actually came out with that. It's true.
Wow. Did he touch you? Because I'll kill him.
Didn't actually make it there, but, you know, tried.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you tell your mom?
Yep.
Oh, and did she give him the boot?
Yeah, you know, it was a battle, that one.
Really? Because you would think once you said it to your mom, she would just go, "Hey, I'm protecting my daughter."
Well, no, she did. She threw him out, but it was a bit of a, you know, it was a bit of a situation.
How old were you? If you don't mind me asking?
Between ages, I think I was between 12 and 15.
Wow, that's a little young.
Yeah, and he never got anywhere with it. By the way, he just alluded. It was disgusting, and he wrote a book, and then did the talk show circuit, and I think got booed off stage most of the time. He was saying he was lusting after me when I was dancing, which is gross.
That is gross.
So.
I mean, so, you know, these are the type of things that Colleen's referring to, that Priscilla made many mistakes with Lisa Marie. 100%, I think Priscilla was very selfish when it comes to Elvis and Lisa Marie. Yeah. And so my point is, they also had many times where they got on very well. Yeah. It isn't as simple as that Priscilla was just this evil woman that was constantly trying to harm Lisa Marie. It's a complicated story. Yeah. Remember, Lisa was a very strong-minded person. So I think we do have to take that into account. Let's have a look. Morning, Amy. You've come late. How are you? Let's have a look. We are still doing a part 2 of should Priscilla be buried at the meditation garden, where I'm discussing. I've come to the thinking that I'm trying to think what would have Elvis wanted, and I think I've made it clear. I think Elvis would have forgiven her. I don't think Elvis would have wanted her buried next to him. But like your comment last night, Amy, a mum wanting to be buried next to her daughter and grandchild. We can't ignore that. What are your feelings, Amy? I'm going to try and find your voicemail that you sent us yesterday, because I think you say it in that. Right, Lisa ignored the movie she didn't want made. Emails, yeah, I mean, come on, guys. You know that I am very, very upset about the making of the Priscilla film. It should never have been made. I can't believe that Priscilla still was involved in that film, even after Lisa Marie died. That film was very cruel to Elvis, did a lot of damage and harm to Elvis's legacy and image and reputation. We know that Lisa Marie definitely did not want that film made. She had even reached out to Sofia Coppola, and from what I can see, she begged her mother to not be involved in the making of that film, and they probably weren't even speaking. And I've even heard there's a possibility that Lisa Marie was threatening a lawsuit if that film was going to be made. So, guys, that film should not have been made. That film is a joke. I'm so glad that it flopped. So I have very strong views about the Priscilla film. And I've watched it enough times to know that it is a terrible film. Let's have a look. Where we are. Elaine. Elvis left her nothing in his will. Lisa left her nothing either. They didn't want to provide for her death. It speaks volumes. I get that, Elaine. But we're still not changing the fact. We're not changing the fact that her daughter and grandchild are buried there. Lisa Marie wouldn't want Priscilla buried at Graceland anywhere near her or Elvis. Let her be buried with her mum and dad and not Graceland. Tracy, I understand that. I understand what you're saying, but my dilemma with what you've just said, Tracy, is they weren't just enemies. It was on, off. They had good years, bad years. So I actually think, this is only my opinion, Louis at home in his kitchen, I actually think Lisa Marie would struggle. I think Lisa Marie would struggle deciding whether she should or shouldn't be buried there. I think she would be, because it's her mum, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's her mum. I can only think about my own relationship I had with my father, and my father was pretty nasty, but he was still my father. I don't think it's clear cut to say Lisa Marie 100% would not want Priscilla buried next to her mother, next to her daughter. Now, Elvis, yeah, 100% Elvis, no way. There's no way Elvis would want Priscilla buried in the meditation garden next to him. We always come back to this dilemma of Lisa Marie and Benjamin are there as well. This is the spanner in the works. This is the spanner. Let's have a look. If Elvis and Lisa didn't make provision for Priscilla in their wills, says it all. I understand that, Colleen, but we always come back to the fact that Lisa is there with Benjamin. We always come back to that. This is the, like, it's almost like banging your head against a brick wall. We don't want her buried next to Elvis. Yeah, I'll be very clear on that. We, Elvis fans, don't want Priscilla buried next to Elvis. 100%. 100%. No way should she be anywhere near Elvis. But then we come back to Lisa and Benjamin are there. This is the bit. This is the sticking point. And obviously we know that Elvis was so forgiving and a religious Christian man that always forgave everybody. This is another point we can't ignore, in my opinion. Let's have a look. And Lisa speaks beyond the grave in what they out in their last will and testament. They both left nothing. So this is money we're talking about, isn't it? Right. I believe that. Why would it even be about? It should have been done and charges should have been filed. I'm missing something. Sorry, Colleen, I'm missing something there. Next, daughters, but Elvis House, right, okay. Let's not forget Elvis left her nothing as well and gave everything to Lisa Marie. But again, come on, I'm not trying to... Right, don't get things confused, guys. I know that there's a rift between Elvis and Priscilla. Elvis would not want her there. 100%. But we can't ignore... I keep saying the same thing over and over. Lisa Marie and Benjamin are buried there, and they are her daughter and grandchild. Yeah. Now, Elvis would want Lisa Marie and Benjamin buried near him. He would want that. I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. If Lisa Marie wanted her there, then we would have made it known. If Lisa wanted her mum to be buried at Graceland, Priscilla would have had to go to court to okay it. Okay, and then we've got Melissa. Hi, Melissa. The problem with that is that Priscilla just have Lisa. She had Navarone as well. Lisa is not buried alone somewhere. So when does Priscilla make the choice of her son or daughter? I agree, Melissa. It's true. She could go and get buried with Navarone one day with her own parents and at a different graveside. She could, 100%. The choice is there. But it doesn't change the fact if she made the choice to be buried with Navarone and her parents, a different plot, yeah, she then is choosing to not be buried next to her daughter and her grandson. You can't win, can you? You can't win. I don't have the answer, guys. It's not about money. It's about how Elvis and Lisa felt about her. Well, now remember, Lisa Marie is her daughter. Now, I get it with Elvis. Priscilla betrayed Elvis on so many levels. She wasn't blood related to Elvis. But with your own daughter, it's differently. Come on, guys, even you guys. You think about your parents, your mother and your father. Now, we're not all happy with things that happen with our childhood, with our parents. But I still think we'd probably be buried with them. Even me, even with all the stuff that went on with my dad, I'd probably be buried next to him. I'd probably be buried where my mother and father are. And this is what makes it different. It is blood. It is blood. It's not about... Right, so Lisa didn't speak to her at the end of her life. If she wanted her there, she would have made arrangements for it. So this is Amy, yeah? And my answer to that is this. We have to remember that the feud was still happening with the Priscilla film, yeah? They'd had a rocky 10 years, hadn't they? Lisa and her mother had a bad 10 years. There was a feud going on for 10 years. I also think not in a million years did Lisa Marie think she was going to die. No way. There's no way that Lisa Marie thought she was going to die in her 50s. So when Amy says she would have made arrangements for it, I don't think so. I don't think Lisa Marie thought she was going to die. Come on, the thing that, you know, the bowel obstruction that ultimately killed her, I think there was this operation that she'd had, yeah? She didn't know that was going to kill her. She didn't know she was going to die soon. So I don't think that's completely correct. I think if Lisa Marie knew she was going to die, then yes, we'd have that answer. So I don't think it's straightforward, Amy. If Lisa wanted her there, then Lisa would have taken care of it. Priscilla should get it to make that decision because she's the last one living. The dead should have what they want. Let me just read that again. If Lisa wanted her there, Lisa would have taken care of it. Priscilla, well, again, I say the same comment as I said to Amy. Lisa didn't know she was going to die. She didn't. It was a sudden death. When it all comes down to it, Lisa's final decision was she told Joel how she felt about her mother. I'd need to know about that. I'd need a bit more proof of that. But just the fact, just because they didn't get on, didn't like each other, it was still her mother. Yeah? I didn't get on with my dad. I didn't get on. I didn't like my dad. It was a nasty piece of work. I still loved him. Yeah? Yeah, Sandra, we know about the 6 plots. I'll be honest with you, I think if you throw enough money at something, you'll be surprised what you can overturn. So it isn't the fact that people keep bringing up 6 plots over and over again. That can be changed. That can be changed. Let's have a look. Let's see what happens when Lisa's book comes out about her mother, and wait for Priscilla to come out with hers. And if she tries to ruin Lisa's reputation, so Saturn's playing a bit of catch up. I do, because there was only one plot left, which was Lisa's next to Ben, and that. Yeah, so we're gonna see how that plays out. We're gonna see what happens. We don't know what's gonna happen, do we? Priscilla went against Lisa and made the film anyway. So right up to the end, she put herself first and didn't take Lisa's feelings into account. I agree, Colleen. I'm on your side, 100%. I am very upset that film was made and that Priscilla just went along with it and then went on to promote the film, even though Lisa Marie had died. God rest her soul. Remember, I'm no Priscilla fan, guys. We are debating here. We are airing our views. And it isn't as simple as the wrongdoing that she did to Elvis. It's not as simple as that. I wish it was. We know what Elvis would want. So this might sound awful, but I hope when I visit in November 2025, Priscilla Bueller is still alive, I would feel sick inside then there that she's there and how badly she treated Elvis and Lisa. I understand that. Come on, a lot of Elvis fans are going to be not happy if she gets buried there. Priscilla gave the choice up when she divorced Elvis to the fact that Lisa is there to me. Well, it can't be irrelevant. It's her daughter and her grandson. It can't be irrelevant. I wish it was. Irrelevant. I wish that we were just talking about whether or not Priscilla will be buried next to Elvis. Then it's easy. We all know that Priscilla should not be buried next to Elvis, that they'd had a divorce. She was not his widow. She was cruel to Elvis. It's a no-brainer. No way should she be buried there. No way. Not in a million years. But as soon as you throw Lisa Marie and Benjamin into the works, everything changes. Let's have a look. Joel also said in his live stream on Wednesday that Priscilla would not be buried there. I haven't seen that. I have not seen that. Patricia, Pat, Elaine, that's how I feel. I'm saving to visit and really wouldn't want to see her grave there. Come on, guys. Most of us We don't want to see Priscilla buried at the meditation garden. We don't. But remember, we're talking about Elvis and the way how forgiving Elvis was. We are also talking about the fact that Lisa Marie and Benjamin are there. We can't ignore it, I don't think. I don't think Riley will even apply for additional zoning when the time comes. The settlement doesn't say that she has to. We'll see, Amy. We will see. But I'll tell you what, the thing that I've learned about Riley is that she's trying to keep Priscilla happy, and she's between a rock and a hard place, and she's quite soft. So who knows? If Priscilla Bueller is laid to rest there, people will still go. It will only be a small dent in their profits. I agree. Come on, it's Graceland. It's Elvis Presley. It's going to be one of the most popular destinations forever. My mother was very annoyed at how Gladys was portrayed in that film. Yeah, I didn't like it. They made her out like she was some drunk. Didn't like it. Did not like it, Finola. Right, have a great day, Jean. If Joel doesn't want Priscilla there, but she can visit, then I wouldn't think they would bury her there. It will cause problems for Graceland, and they don't want that. I agree, Colleen, but I want proof that Joel doesn't want her there. Where have you seen this? I haven't seen any proof that Joel doesn't want her there. That's really interesting. I say that because if Priscilla wants to be buried in her daughter, then maybe she should have fixed things with her while she was alive. If the same with Elvis, love in death and not in life. It's complicated, Melissa. Complicated. Right, I'm going to have to wind it up now. We're going to have to do a part 3. I've been on quite a long time, so I'm going to try and read the rest of your comments. Just Joel said not next to Elvis, which she can't be. The settlement says, I know about the settlement saying closest, the closest spot. I know about that, but the bit where Joel says not next to Elvis, Amy, have you got that? I want to see that. Is it a video? Is it an interview? Is it a document? Please, could you send that to me? And we'll go on to this into part 3. We'll go into part 3 and we'll go into things in more detail. So Colleen said, he said in an interview, do any of you have that? I'd love to see it. The bit where it actually specifically says not next to Elvis. Elvis did not want her near the estate. She put a lien on the 29th April night time. It's evident. Imagine stress while sick. One of the guys transported Lisa. Priscilla Bueller was not there. Even Ginger says that. Right, let me read that again. Elvis did not want her near the estate. She put a lien on it. Yeah, we know about the lien, and we know about the deed of trust that was created so they could do the lien. It's just transported Lisa Marie was not there. Even Ginger said, that's not clear to me. Obviously, things have changed because Lisa Marie's now buried there, and so is Benjamin. So it's different. Things have changed. Remember, everything changed. As soon as you put Lisa Marie in the meditation garden with Benjamin, everything changes. Right. Hi, Elvis Presley. Yes, it's in an email. I'd like to see that email. I'd love to, if you don't mind. He's just clarifying not next to Elvis. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Let's have a look. Okay, is that I think Elaine might be going. So it's been an interesting debate, guys. Oh, thank you, Amy. Right, I want to do a part 3 because there's a lot more to go through. I wanted to go through all your comments on last night's video. I wanted to go through that. And of course, I'm going to end it with a song. We have to, just to calm us and soothe us. But I just want you to, guys, clearly understand, I am not a Priscilla fan. I am not a Priscilla fan. I don't think Priscilla should be buried next to Elvis. I don't think Priscilla should be buried next to Elvis. There is a dilemma on Lisa Marie Presley being there and Benjamin being there. I also think Elvis was so kind and so beautiful in his heart, and a very religious man, I believe he would have forgiven everyone. I believe that Elvis forgives everyone. Everyone. These are my beliefs. Okay, guys, I have to go. So let's find a song. It has to be Suspicious Minds. It has to be. We're gonna play the live one.